afternoon, everyone. You may start eating your salad. You may start eating your lunch. Thank you so much. All right. While we were having lunch, we're about to start our awards. At this time, I'm going to invite up Dr. Earl Bolden, Dr. Geronda Burley, and Miss Danielle Parker.
We're not going to be up here for too long to disturb you from eating your lunch. However, this time it gives me great pleasure to be amongst those who are introducing these special awards. These awards focus on individuals who dedicated their lives to justice, leadership, and liberation. At this point, our focus is on celebrating change makers who are shaping the future. This is important to us at Coppin because it aligns with our anniversary. And if you have not heard it by now, Coppin proudly celebrates its 125th anniversary this year. I think that deserves a round of applause. What also makes these awards special is the fact that this is the inaugural session. So those of you who are receiving these awards, you should have an extra sense of pride because you are the first recipients of these special awards. I am further delighted that I have the special privilege of introducing the person who will be receiving the Legacy Award. This individual received his PhD from Brandeis University, the Florence Heller School of Social Policy and Management. He is a social worker in that he received his MSW from George Williams College, now part of Aurora University in Chicago, Illinois, and he received his bachelor's in social work from his Bachelor of Science, from North Carolina A&T State University in Greensboro, North Carolina. This person is also special because he was the 5th president of Coppin State University from 2008 through 2013. Added to what makes this individual special is that he also, after retiring as president of Coppin State University, came to the Department of Social Work, where we were privileged to have his tutelage until his retirement in January 2014. This legacy award honors individuals whose vision, leadership, and unwavering commitment to justice have created a lasting change. The award recognizes those who not only have championed social justice, but have also built institutions, movements, or initiatives that ensure their work continues for future generations. This year's recipient embodies the very essence of legacy building. Through their dedication, perseverance, and advocacy, they have played an instrumental role in shaping the landscape of justice and equity. Their work was pivotal, and I can safely say his work was pivotal in establishing the Dorothy I Center for the Advancement of Social Justice, creating space where scholarship, activism, and community engagement cover to drive meaningful change. Those individuals who will be recipients of the Legacy Award are more than advocates. They are architects of transformation. They envision a better world and take deliberate steps to make it a reality. They cultivate spaces for others to lead, ensuring that their impact extends far beyond their own efforts. Their work does not end with them. It becomes a foundation upon which future generations will stand. Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, our award recipient, Dr. Reginald S. Avery, cannot be here with us this afternoon, but we are privileged to have his lovely wife joining us to receive the award on his behalf. Please join me in congratulations the Averys, because he couldn't do it without her.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm gonna take this slow because I'm out of breath, trying to get through, well, I've gotten over the flu, but it still left me with a cough that I don't seem to want to leave me. I would like to thank Dr. Buckley and Dr. Bolden for inviting me here today. It is a profound honor to accept this award on behalf of my husband, who unfortunately is unable to be here due to health challenges. We're grateful for this recognition, especially as we celebrate the 15th anniversary of Dorothy I Center of Social Justice, an institution that embodies his vision and lifelong commitment to equality. Dr. Avery had the privilege of meeting Dr. Dorothy I not long after joining Coppin State University, and he was profoundly inspired by her tireless dedication to social justice. It was this admiration that led him to establish this center in her honor, ensuring that the fight for equality and justice continues to serve our community. His own journey was shaped by a deep-rooted passion for civil rights. Initially accepted at Hampton University, he later transferred to North Carolina A&T, where he became immersed in the heart of civil rights movement. Having grown up in segregated Greenville, South Carolina, he understood firsthand the realities of injustice. Though he once aspired to become an attorney, he ultimately found his calling in social work, believing that true change required not only legal reform, but also hands-on advocacy to uplift the most vulnerable of our society. Throughout his career as a faculty member, department chair, dean, executive vice chancellor, provost, faculty senate leader, and university president, he remained steadfast in his beliefs that education is the most powerful tool for change. He recognized that our world is ever evolving, and with that evolution comes a responsibility to ensure that we meet the needs of our students, faculty, staff, and the broader community. His guiding principle was simply yet profound. When we invest in the success of others, we all succeed. He would always tell his students, always reach for the stars. While differences may arise, he always believed that it is our shared aspiration that unite us and propel us forward. As an educator, he was devoted to fostering excellence and providing students with the highest quality of education. He encouraged not only to excel academically, but to be compassionate stewards of our world, to reach out, to uplift, and to make a meaningful impact. To lead an institution like Coppin State University, it is more than a position, it is a calling. It requires vision, resilience, and unwavering commitment to future generations. My husband embraced this role with passion and purpose, ensuring that the legacy of this great institution would continue to thrive. Through his leadership, he championed academic innovation, expanded opportunities, and strengthened the foundation of the university. Given his background in social work, his dedication to community engagement was not just a professional commitment, it was his life's work. His decision to serve at Coppin State was driven by a desire to create lasting change, to empower students, and to uplift those who needed it most. As his wife, I have witnessed his sacrifices, his determination, and his love for this institution. I have seen the long nights, the hard-fought battles, and the moments of triumph. He carried the weight of leadership not just as an administrator, but as a servant to the mission of his historically Black colleges and universities to educate, to empower, and to elevate. On behalf of my husband and our family, thank you for this incredible honor. May we continue the work that he so passionately believed in, and may the legacy of justice, education, empowerment endure for generations to come. Thank you, School of Social Work, and thank you, Coppin community.
Before Mrs. Avery leaves, I will read the words on this heavy award, and then I will ask the woman who leads us to present it to Mrs. Avery. It reads, "The Legacy Award presented to Dr. Reginald Avery for his vision, advocacy, and enduring commitment to social justice in recognition of his role in establishing the Dorothy I Center for the Advancement of Social Justice, presented at the HBCU Student Leadership and Social Justice Conference 2025.
Where did Justin go? Anybody see Justin?
Oh,
Okay. Let's step around.
in the front.
To do the photo? Okay, all right, we'll do that. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Now we'll have Dr. Geronda Burley. She will be presenting the Dorothy I. Height Award.
Can I just say Rosalind runs a tight ship, so she's been telling us to get it together. I am here to present the Dr. Dorothy Irene Height Award. Dr. Height was a force for justice. As a civil rights icon, she dedicated her life to advancing racial and gender equity, fighting for voting rights, and ensuring the voices of marginalized communities would be heard. Her leadership shaped movements, influenced policies, and opened doors for future generations. This award is a testament to her legacy and a recognition of those who walk in her footsteps, students who use their voices, their knowledge, and their passion to drive change. The recipient of this award is not just a student, they are a leader, a visionary, and a catalyst for justice. They have dedicated their time and talents to advocacy, organizing, and amplifying the voices of those too often silenced. You can read more about this award, this amazing award, in the program, the conference program. So I'm going to now skip down to who the award is going to be presented to. It is with great admiration and enthusiasm that I nominate someone who I adore so very much. We know her in the community as Young Elder. Her government name is Jayla Morris, and we present you, Young Elder, Ms. Jayla Morris, as the Dorothy Height Student Social Justice Student Awardee.
Thank you.
But listen, I forgot to, just stand right here because I forgot to read a little bit about Young Elder, so I messed up, so.
Oh, you good?
Okay. So let me tell y'all just a little bit. There's so much to tell you about Young Elder. Through her innovative initiative, Heart Smiles, Extra Love Cuts, Jayla provides free barbering services to those in need, which embodies her inspiring motto, change a generation. In Baltimore City, her work has created tangible impacts, bridging gaps between resources and those who might otherwise be overlooked. Young Elder's influence extends beyond community service. As a gifted spoken word artist, I didn't have you, there's a song that she wrote that, but I'm not gonna ask you to do that today, maybe later. But as a gifted spoken word artist, she has captivated large audiences and dignitaries alike, including Governor Wes Moore, with powerful performances that articulate the struggles and aspirations of marginalized voices. Her eloquence and humility transform every stage into a platform for meaningful dialogue. You don't do that, because we'll be crying. Her legacy inspires hope and fosters meaningful community transformation. In every endeavor, Jayla Morris exhibits the qualities of empathy, leadership, and an indomitable drive for justice. I'm honored to give you this award.
Thank you so much, Dr. Burley. Y'all see that? Yo, I get to talk to her. Hey y'all. All right, so I don't have a speech prepared, but I cannot let this moment pass without saying thank you so much to my community. Thank you so much to my amazing professors who carried me through this and really helped show me that I can do anything. Hey, Miss Tamika, hey. Hey, I'm so excited. I love y'all. This is what hard work and dedication looks like. This is what it looks like when you pour into the young people of Baltimore. I'm just a regular kid from Baltimore, but I had people who are willing to pour into me and dedicate their lives to me. So thank you so much for your sacrifice. Thank you so much for your dedication. And y'all, this is for us. Let's get it. Hey.
And now we will have Miss Danielle Parker. She will be presenting our next award.
Good afternoon again, everyone. So the award that I will be presenting is the Walter P. Carter Award. And this information is also, if someone hasn't said, is in your program too. So I'm on page 11. The Walter P. Carter was a fearless champion for justice, a leader who stood unwavering in the face of oppression, dedicating his life to dismantling segregation, advancing civil rights, and demanding systematic change in Baltimore and beyond. He believed in the power of grassroots movements and the strength of a collective action, mobilizing communities to challenge injustice and rewrite the narrative of equity in this country. His legacy is one of courage, resilience, and relentless advocacy. The recipient of this award, I know I skipped, we're moving forward. The recipient of this award is more than a community leader. They are a disruptor of injustice, a bold visionary, and an architect of change. Their unwavering commitment to advocacy, activism, and empowerment has transformed lives, strengthened communities, and challenged the very structures that perpetrate inequity. They do not wait for change, they create it. They do not accept oppression, they resist it. Their work is not only inspiring but necessary, ensuring that their pursuit of justice does not end with them but continues for the generations to come. And in this award, we had several, of course, as many of the other awards, nominees, but the person who stood out and was chosen by the selection committee is Dr. Lamar Shields. Dr. Lamar Shields is a visionary storyteller and social justice advocate who uses narrative to challenge injustice and inspire action. As a co-founder of Shortcut Show, he has provided a platform for over 100 powerful stories by and about people of color, ensuring that marginalized voices are amplified and transformed into tools for advocacy and systematic change. Dr. Shields understands that storytelling is more than an art, it is a force for justice. By elevating real experiences, he fosters empathy, sparks critical dialogue, and disrupts harmful narratives. His work empowers storytellers and profoundly impact audience, inspiring them to engage in activism, policy change, and community building. Each story is shared in an act of resistance. healing, and transformation, strengthening the connection between personal narratives and a broader social justice movements. We are so honored to give you this award, Dr. Shields. Congratulations, and thank you for all of your work and service to the community. There you go, is your Eagle Award.
Thank you. I want to first thank Dr. Buckley, the fitness guru over here. I see her in the gym quite often doing her thing before she comes and deal with the students in the building. You got to have something, right? Because we got to have something to keep you balanced. I want to just thank, Coppin State University. I'm a graduate of Grambling State University, so shout out to all the HBCUs that exist that's constantly under attack. I need to just say that. Shout out to this beautiful sister right here. I mean, when to see that spirit of this young lady coming up here, the young elder wearing that fly blazer, I knew it was something special about you when you walk past. I just want to as they say in the Bible, if I could just touch the hem of his garment, I want to pull your garment real quick. And I'm so glad that you respected elders enough to honor those folks who help you get to where you are. So shout out to you. And to all the other recipients, my sister Erica over here, who is a Shortcuts alum, to Bobby back there, who's a Shortcuts alum, to one of the dopest social workers I know, my mother, who is 83 years old, from the great city of Chicago, Illinois. Aline, I understood social work at a very young age at the time where kids would show up in my kitchen, Erica, who I didn't know. My mama said, just be quiet. That's your little brother. That's your cousin today. Y'all young social workers don't know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the movies like Claudine that took black men out of the building and said that you got to hide the stuff because the other folks are coming in, and broke up black men and black families. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Storytelling is my life. Helping people, marginalized people, share their stories at a time where we are attempted to be silent. And so as I think of the great Claude McKay when he said, if we must die, and I say to him, if we must live, we all have a story in us. I thank you, and I see my other brother who also is a Shortcuts alum. I love you, brother. You got your hat on, you just snuck up in here, my brother Davon Love. And so I want to encourage everybody to share your story because you have a story to share. And next Saturday, Roxanne Shante is coming from New York City to participate in the infamous Shortcuts show. And I'm so excited that she's going to be sharing the stage with 5 other black women who are going to share their story in honor of Women History Month. So I thank all the powerful women in the building. I thank you for what you do, and all the social workers. I appreciate the love that you give to people all the time and always. I appreciate you, and thank you for this award.
So we have asked our hospitality staff to go ahead and start serving lunch because I see the looks on your faces, and I don't want you to leave and say, they brought us here, they didn't even feed us, so your lunch is coming. I also, because we've made reference a couple of times to the fact that the program is available to you, the conference proceedings, please be sure that you pull up the app. Is it the app, Dr. Burley? How do I say this? The QR code, thank you. When you click on the website, just click on conference on that tab, and it will pull up the full conference proceedings and the schedule. Thank you so much. So at this time, with no further ado, we are going to welcome our esteemed panel to grace our presence. This session is called Brush Strokes of Liberation. And so I would like to invite my colleague, Dr. Rasheem, to come on up, and her 2 interviewers, Mackenzie and Chanel. Thank you so much. Oh, yes. Also, thank you. Keep on coming. In your name tag, you have your, whether you selected vegetarian or not, please pull that out so that you can assist our servers to expedite lunch. Thank you.
everyone. It ain't on. Nope. It ain't on?
Yeah, it's on.
Y'all heard me?
I heard you. Say it again.
Good afternoon, everyone.
He said close.
Oh, okay, bring it closer. Thank you for joining us. With us, we have Dr. Rasheem, and she's known for saying, "Just call me Rasheem." She is a self-taught mixed media artist whose primary medium is pastel. Rasheem is a womanist artist whose art encourages a critical examination of social and culture through the lens of race, gender, sexuality, and class. Her work centralizes the lives and experiences of marginalized populations. So we're going to ask her a few questions, guys.
Can you take us back to the moment when you first envisioned this piece? What inspired you to create it, and how does it reflect your personal journey and passion for social justice?
Hello? Yep. Yep, this one works. Going back to the first moment that inspired me to do this piece that everyone will see is really a conversation that I had with Dr. Buckley. In talking with Dr. Buckley and talking about the significance of not only this event, but talking about, both of us were talking about reflecting on the uprising and talking about stories of resistance and how that is part of a long history and long lineage. And one of the things that I wanted to do, and I hope that I've done in this piece, is to bring some of those things together so that it's not just necessarily connected with history, but we look at it as a living legacy, like we're still resisting, we're still fighting back, and we're still experiencing some of those challenges. So that's some of the thinking and inspiration behind this particular piece.
Next question. Dr. Rahim, when you said uprising, you're talking about Freddie Gray?
That's right, the 2015 uprising. Thanks for that point of clarification.
Your documentary, Baltimore Still Rising.
Right, speak your speech.
Expands on the themes present in your artwork. Can you talk about the documentary and how film, visual art, and storytelling can work together to shift narratives and drive tangible change?
Okay, so there is a documentary that's coming out April 24th, and that will be marking the 10-year anniversary of the uprising. Yeah, it's been 10 years, y'all. One of the things that inspired even creating the documentary is similar to what inspired the piece, an opportunity for us to look at history as not just a reference point, but something that is a resource, something that is instructive, something that we can take those lessons and be informed by. There's so much that happened. If people could think about where they were 10 years ago when the uprising happened, some policies and programming and the like that have taken place, we know that this work isn't just in classrooms, it's not just in one-on-one conversations with social workers, but it's each one of the people that are in this place. It's in classrooms, but it's also outside, and it's through policy. And I feel like doing the documentary was a great opportunity to connect that particular story and tell the story not just of a single individual, but of a city and its fight for resistance.
As we prepare to unveil your piece, what do you hope attendees, especially social workers, take away from this discussion from experiencing your work? How can social workers use art as a tool for advocacy, healing, and empowerment in their practice?
Okay, that's a few questions in that one. Let me, is that this one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Some of the things that I hope that folks can take away is that our work is not done and that it's a continual process. I also hope that they take away that we are a people that have resisted for a very long time, and there are people who have come before us and they have given us a blueprint, and they've given us maps, and they put them in these books that we have access to, that we can read, and we can identify things that could be instructive for us, particularly in times that we're living in right now. So that's what I hope folks get out of looking at the piece. How can social workers use art as a tool for advocacy? I feel one of the things that that I'm grateful for is all of the artists and entertainers that have come before me that have been art activists, if you will. right? There's not a lot of separation between their politics and their actions and their art craft, whether we are talking about a James Baldwin or Gil Scott-Heron, or we're talking about Nina Simone, or even if we're talking about Du Bois, who's not necessarily artist, but he talked about the difference between art for the sake of art and art as a tool and as a mechanism. So I think that there's a ways in which as social workers we can use it as a tool that is instructive, but we can also use it in ways to tell our story and as a mode of healing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna unveil it now.
Okay, yep.
So as they unveil it, I will tell you I'll say a little bit about the piece. You said I can't take these off, right? Okay. Thank you. So these are all actually original newspaper clippings from the Afro, which also tells you about the significance and importance of Black media in telling our story and documenting, because there was so much information that I would look for and I could not find it anywhere, but I could find it in Black media. So you have stories in here from Baltimore, like for example, this particular article, this is, I think this one was published in 1934. So the years of these articles are 1934, 1963, 1954, 1923. And again, they're original. Like this paper is very old, which is why it's coded with something. So for example, you have stories of police brutality in Baltimore City and people fighting back. You have all of these instances of resistance. You have Coppin State College, emblem of Coppin State College, when it showed up in the Afro paper when it was still Coppin State College. There's so much more that I could say about it, but I hope that folks take an opportunity to come up and look at some of the stories. For example, there's a story of a young girl who was attacked by a Baltimore City police officer, young Black girl who did not get justice. There's another situation where a police officer was found to be harassing another group of young people, and then how the city responded. This is just really, and I think the main point at the top is like our freedom now. And I wanted to do it in this way of a more contemporary image, I guess you could say, of a young person, and put all of this together to tie in that our past is our present and we still have work to do. All right, thank you so much. Of course, as you know, this conference is hosted by the Dorothy I Center. And so this piece of art, we commissioned Dr. Rasheem to do this art because we want it to be permanently mounted outside of the Dorothy I Center, so that every time people walk past our center, they will know, they will get the message loud and clear that the work that comes out of the Dorothy I Center is centered in justice. And so thank you so much for pouring your heart and soul into this piece. It is absolutely beautiful, and I can't wait until it's permanently mounted. Thank you. All right. Go ahead. Thank you, ladies. So we are going to transition into our keynote, but before I call her up, I just want to take this opportunity to do a quick roll call. And then I'm going to introduce a couple of really special people. So when I say roll call, I'm talking about the fact that we have a couple of institutions represented here on today. So if you are from this institution, then I think you should do what you know to do. So I think somebody said that Bowie State University is in the house. Welcome to Baltimore, Bowie. I think UDC is represented here today, the University of the District of Columbia. Outside the door, well, I heard a faint whoop whoop. I believe that the University of Maryland is here on today. Okay, all right. Now, I know that Fair Morgan State is here today. And of course, I must give the stage to the lovely, the beautiful, the dynamic, powerful, black magic, all of the things students of Coppin State University. Hey, Coppin! Fantastic. Thank you so much. And just give me one quick moment before I bring up our keynote speaker. I would like the opportunity to introduce you to the former chairs of the Department of Social Work. And so Dr. Shirley Newton-Guest, are you still here? Oh, there she is. Thank you so much for being here. Of course, Dr. Errol Bolden, former chair. Dr. Kesselyn Braid Stennis, is she still here? Oh, she's the one that stepped out? Okay, so here we have three former chairs for the Department of Social Work. I think that says very clearly that we are about legacy building here at the Department of Social Work. And so, with no further ado, I don't have my notes. Thank you. No, it's Keynote, and I see her coming on down. So some of you came because you heard that this was going to be our keynote speaker. This is the moment that you've been waiting on. It is my honor to introduce to you Erica Bridgeford, who is a renowned, go ahead, clap her up. Erica is a renowned activist, healer, inspirational speaker, peace warrior, and all-around unicorn from Baltimore. Did y'all know that she was just on The Breakfast Club? Now you know you're big time when you're on The Breakfast Club. She has worked to repeal the death penalty in Maryland and to get money and resources to families of murder victims. Erica is a co-founder of Baltimore Peace Movement, formerly known as Baltimore Ceasefire 365. This is a movement that makes quarterly calls for 72 hours of life-affirming events and uplifting peace and joy in Baltimore. It started in 2017. And has resulted in weekends with less violence than normally seen, more celebrations of life than normally experienced, and hundreds of murder locations being reclaimed as sacred ground. The full bio is here in your program proceedings. I don't want to take up any more time because I already know that the word that you have for us today is far more important than the words that I would read from this screen. So I want to invite you, sister, to please come to the front. Please clap it up for Erica Bridgeford.
Thank you so much. Hi, y'all. Welcome to my realm. So first, I always start by asking permission from my elders to speak. And today, it just so happens that my father is here with me today. So Daddy, do I have permission to speak? Thank you very much. Now I'm going to ask something from y'all. So the prophet Kendrick Lamar says, you should shut up when you hear love talking, right? So I've come to understand that sometimes when I'm talking, the room might get silent because people are impacted by love that just like hit them at their core. So I understand if there are some things that happen in this engagement, that's Davon right there, that make you just kind of get silent, right? That's okay. And also, this is a call and response kind of thing. So if you got a go ahead and make that nasty face with the Like, you know, if you got a amen or an ashe or yelling something back at me, don't hold that stuff in. It's not good for you to hold that stuff in. You got to let all of that stuff out. So my point is you are welcome to be as quiet and or as loud and rowdy as you need to be while we are sharing space together right now. So synchronicity is such a beautiful thing, right? Because we've already been talking about storytelling today and honoring storytelling today. And it just so happens that the title of what I'm bringing to you is You Are a Story Creation is Telling About Itself. You get to decide what kind of story. That's the whole point of everything I'm going to be talking about today. So I said welcome to my realm because you're going to see how the inside of my brain works, what encourages me and ignites my soul. So I am a person who pays attention to numbers. Math is very important to me. I believe that math explains both the seen realms and the unseen realms. And you cannot convince me that I'm not a quantum physics expert for that reason. And so what we call do the math, pretend there are fingers over here, do the math. Y'all can laugh at that. That was a joke about it's not no fingers. Okay. You do the math. Davon is like, she not good. Yes. Nub jokes come with the territory. I got a nub. Okay. So I do the math on a whole lot of things, especially things that when spirit calls me, like, oh, see what that number is. So the way you do the math on something is whatever the numbers are, you add them up until you get to a single number, unless you get to a master number. But that's another workshop, so I won't explain all of that. But let's talk about single numbers. Today, we are surrounded by eights. So 125 years of Coppin celebrating its legacy, right? That equals 8. Fannie Coppin was born in 1837, which means she would be 188 years old this year. Guess how much that is? 8. With all those 8s already in it. It just so happened, and I didn't do this on purpose, that I ended up with 8 dots on my face today. So people often ask me what the dots are. My dad asked me earlier, and I forgot to say it out loud. But the dots for me on my face, so it's definitely a part of African tradition that's just in my being, that we wear dots for celebrations, for ceremonies, just to be cute, because we felt like it. And for me, dots always represent something that I'm bringing with me on purpose, being very intentional about who is with me wherever I am. And so the 3 dots down the middle you'll often see on my face is always creator at the top, my soul in the middle, and my physical manifestation at the bottom, my body being in this realm. And then around this eyebrow today, I have my family who is present in physical form with me still, and then all ancestors, so all family members who have passed away. And then on this side of my face, there are 3 dots. And the first one closest to my eye are people who have been killed in Baltimore. The middle, specifically people who have been killed in my family. And then the third closest to my ear, which is just dawning on me so I can really hear them, are people who have been killed all around the world. And it just turns out to be 8 dots. Then I'm minding my business, talking to my father, listening to all the wonderful things, young elder getting awards and stuff, just enjoying myself. And my dad says, yeah, at the 100th anniversary of Coppin, that's the year I graduated valedictorian. That was my father who graduated valedictorian in Coppin's 100th year, and he remembers that 503 students graduated in that class, and he was the top of that. Guess what 503 is? 8! I believe in coincidences, because coincident just means they're co-incidents, partner incidents, intentionally happening at the same time, right? So it's synchronicity. So I believe in coincidences because here I am speaking at a leadership conference with all these 8s. And 8 represents personal power, leadership, and the ability to manifest goals effectively. 8 represents infinite flow of energy and the eternal cycle of giving and receiving. That cycle where nothing is destroyed, it just changes form. That eternal cycle of I am because we are. That eternal cycle of when I give, I find out what I had in the first place. Because you can't give what you don't have. 8 symbolizes the balance between the material and spiritual realms, the seen and the unseen. So balance is not always this. Balance is often looking like this, right? Sometimes you finding your footing a little bit more here, a little bit more there, and it's doing like this, right? And so we're often focused so much in the physical, we forget about the vastness of the unseen part of ourselves. So whatever you call it, spirit or creator or God or like whatever you call it, you cannot deny that there is an unseen part of you that's way bigger than the part of you we can see. Here's an example. You are having 50 gazillion thoughts right now that you will never be able to communicate out loud. Those thoughts exist in the part of you that we can't see, in the unseen realm. And so those realms are always interacting with each other. The unseen is often informing your seen if you listen and pay attention to those quiet nudges. 8 represents the physical and emotional aspects of life. This is one of my favorite things to talk about. Emotions are indicators of how much you are in alignment with that vast unseen part of you. Worry feels bad because it is alien to your soul. It's alien to your soul. Worry is you taking your focus and putting it on the thing you don't want to happen. Why would you do that to yourself? I think that's called self-harm in 2025. Right? And so when we have emotions that feel good, it is an indicator to us that whatever it is we're thinking in that moment is in alignment with what the vastness of us knows to be true. When we have emotions that don't feel good, it's an indicator to us the thought that I'm having right now, my soul don't necessarily agree from its vast point of view. So how can I shift my perspective of how I'm using this situation or how I'm looking at this situation? So I decided that I'm going to be obedient today and talk to y'all about some stories that have my emotions on fire right now. The calling me forth kind of fiery emotions. Because y'all said the theme was liberate, reignite, and organize. So I'm like, okay, well, let me talk about right? What got me on fire right now? So first I want to talk about obedient. Obedient comes from the root word obedire, which just means in the direction that you hear. So if you are obeying, you are going in the direction of something you hear. So the question to always be asking yourself in any given moment, what am I hearing that I'm giving my attention to? Am I paying attention to my doubts and my fears and my worries and what people say I am? Or am I going in the direction of my joy and my passion and my heart space and my love for life and those around me, right? What is it that I'm listening to? So first, I'm going to give you some leadership tips because, you know, that's what you're supposed to do when you're the key speaker at a leadership conference, keynote speaker of a leadership conference. Okay. So tips about being a leader. A leader is somebody who guides and inspires and influences other people towards a shared vision. So first of all, inspire also is about spirit. Inspire is not the same thing as motivate. Motivate is from my physical experience to your physical experience. You should work out more. You should eat more healthy. Also connected to your spiritual health, right? But it's very physical. Inspire is about from my spirit, knowing that it is one with your spirit. I am sharing and pouring in, and your spirit goes, oh, I recognize and see that reflection. Yup, more of me shall I be, right? That's what leaders are doing. Leaders go before or with others to show them the way. So that's a lot to go before. You got to be doing your own healing work if you're going ahead. I'm coming to make a place for you. I'm going ahead in the path. I got to be doing my own healing. I got to be doing my own resting. I got to be doing my own enough silence for my mind. I got to be drinking enough water. I got to be doing all the things that really pour into the fullness of myself so that I can lead the way. But I'm showing the way. right? I'm not commanding. A dictator and a leader are not the same thing. I'm not commanding you must come this way. I'm just saying, hey, yo, here's a way. I can show it to you if you want to come with me, right? And I already understand some of the pitfalls and the joys of it, so I got you. And I'm a walk side by side with you in it, right? A leader must be a root. You are the path. You are the path. Or means of access to a particular place in a particular direction. So if you are a leader, you must be trusted with what is it that you are obeying? Are you obeying proximity to what people view as power? Are you obeying proximity to colonized mindsets and colonizer reindeer games? Are you in proximity to what is actually best for our people? And that's what you are listening to and paying attention to. And lastly, a leader is an example for others to follow. One of my friends, Tracy, told me that a lot of the times in my life where I experienced pain, it was because I was trying to function in the wrong role. I'm good at a lot of roles. But she said, your main role is that you are a map. And she said, you have to decide what it means to be a map for yourself, right? An example for others to follow. So I had to dig deep in me and go, wait a minute, a map doesn't care if you use it or not. I am what I am. I'm the way because I'm deciding to be the way. I'm the way because I'm deciding to feel my way through my own journey and do what I know my spirit and all of creation is calling for me to decide what kind of story am I trying to be. And I'm an example of that. You can leave me in the glove compartment if you want and never look at me, never use me. You can argue with others about which way is the way to go and never use me. But as a leader, I'm not bent on are other people doing what I'm saying they should do. I'm going, am I doing what I believe is supposed to be done? And those who will follow shall follow. So stories. One story I can only imagine. Our ancestor, Fannie Marion Jackson Coppin, graduated from college in 1865, the same year that slavery was abolished. Can you imagine being born into slavery and then graduating from college the same year that slavery is abolished? Can you imagine what that mindset, what that perspective, what that journey must have been, and the story she was deciding to be, so that's the synchronicity that showed up in her life? The thing you were born into is being ended this year. If that didn't inspire her to go forth and do whatever it was she envisioned for this world, I don't know what else could have. So that's a story I can only imagine. But let me tell you about a story I know. Very recently, not even 2 weeks ago, I saw somebody get shot. They didn't die, but they got shot right in front of the Community Mediation Center, where I'm the executive director, and we do peace work. And we're teaching people how to resolve conflict. We're creating safe spaces for you to come and resolve. Like, we're doing all of the work. So in my physical mind, I could look at it like, how in the world is shooting going to happen right outside of the mediation center? But what actually happened, because, and I'm now aware, because I'm human, so seeing somebody get shot, knowing me and the work that I do and how people getting shot has impacted my personal life, there was all kind of trauma in my body in the aftermath. But let me tell you the story about what was present with me while it was happening. While it was happening, I heard some shots in the distance that I thought must be a car backfiring. And it got louder and louder and seemed to be right here in my ear. And I've heard gunshots before. I've heard a bullet fly past my ear before. But I never heard anything like this. It sounded like a bomb just showed up out of nowhere in the air and just kept exploding. And so as I turned and looked, I'm standing on the porch of the mediation center, and I looked, and I realized there's a guy running past me. He's being chased. Running past me, which is why the sound was coming toward me, because at some point, y'all, the gun was focused in my direction because the guy was running past me. So I'm looking at him, and I'm looking at the guy that's in the standing, posted up in the middle of the street. He's just taking shots, not aiming low, aiming high. And he hits the guy in his leg. So my brain is like, all right, I know people don't be knowing how to shoot, but goodness gracious, like that many shots, and it was his leg that got hit. And the sound of the shots, the sound of war, I literally saw that sound shatter the atmosphere. The air started looking different. And it was something in me going, well, you know, Erica, it's at this point that, like, regular people would just open the door that you standing by and just go inside the building. It's like, you know, it occurred to me, but I didn't move because when I tell y'all the calmness, the peace that was inside of me, something in me was very aware that I'm holding space for my brothers right now who are in this kind of pain, that on a beautiful Tuesday afternoon, you just busting off shots in the middle of Greenmount Avenue. And you running from it because y'all had a fist fight earlier, is what it turned out to be. But the peace inside me, it was like the realm that I lived in wasn't where it was happening, but I could see the realm that it was happening in, because the realm where I lived in was all abundance and all power and all joy and all peace and all holding space for those who are in darkness. So the guy is running, a police officer on foot comes up Greenmount. The guy shooting sees the police officer, keeps aiming at the guy because shooting him in his leg wasn't good enough for him. He was literally confused. When he hit his leg, his head kind of went like, that's all I got? So he kept shooting, watching him run over to the police officer. The guy gets over there to the police officer. The shooter looks at me and then runs back around the corner where he came from. I go in the building, and now I'm like, okay, it's over. I can go in the building now. The police and the ambulance and everybody got him. His leg is shot. He was outside the next day. That's a different conversation about the pain you got to be in, that you believe you got to be outside the next day after you get shot. But I go in the building, and I take like 3 steps, and the reality of it all came crashing into my body. And when I tell y'all, I felt all the root causes of violence, from chattel slavery to Donald Trump and everything in between. I felt all of it. And all I could do was cry and scream for about 30 to 45 minutes. Heal the people. Heal the people. Free the people. Over and over like a chant. Like a chant. Why am I telling this story? Y'all know that song, I've Been Through the Fire? Right, let's sing it together. I've been through the fire. No, wait, I've come through the fire. I'm saying it wrong. I've come through the fire. All right, we're going to start over. I've come through the fire, and I've been through the flood. I've been broken into pieces, seen lightning flash from above. But through it all, I remember that he loves me and he cares, and he never put more on me than what? Than I can bear. Raise your hand if there have been times where you were like, that's a lie, this is more than I can take right now. In real life, right? So I've been having to think about how things can happen in our experience that feel like they are more than we can bear. But really, they are not. It is because creation does not make more than it can support. It does not. All that is all that is. And it's not making anything that it can't be. It's not making anything that it can't support, that it can't heal, that it can't care for. So your existence is necessary for all that is to be all that it is. Because if not, you wouldn't exist. If your pain, if your circumstances, if your situations were too much for creation and all that is, you wouldn't be. So you being here in this world with all your trials and tribulations is not disposable waste. If you are here, whatever you go through must be part of what creation can support. If you are being called forth, come forth. I know there are cracks in your heart and wounds in your mind from being shattered by oppressive systems and hurt people who hurt you. And I'm telling you, go in the direction of those cracks in your brokenness. Because cracks are places where your light can shine out. Cracks are places where the light and love and healing that you need can come in to you. Walls are not places where energy can get through. You got to be open-hearted. And what more opens your heart than cracks in them? Y'all said liberate, reignite, and organize. Liberate means to release from a state or situation that limits freedom or thought, limits freedom of thought or behavior. I just want to say real quick, freedom is not something you got to fight for or that you got to ask somebody for. Freedom is yours. Freedom is yours. Freedom is a part of your existence in creation, meaning you are free to take the muck and the mire and create beauty out of whatever comes your way. Reignite. What things are setting you on fire? Sometimes you got to go through the fire because you're supposed to be all the smoke. You're supposed to be all the smoke. When they see you coming, they be like, oh, my God, here they come. Yup, with all the smoke. Organize. And I'm going to end right here because it's about unity. Organize is to make separate parts into one united whole. Yes, we're having our own individual experiences, our own unique perspectives, because you are a part of creation telling the story about itself. But from your perspective, and you getting to decide what kind of story you're going to be. So taking those separate pieces and leaders being able to say, let's take all of these separate pieces and figure out where the wholeness is. Where the safe bridges are, where the healing is, where is the we are one. Because I am, because you are, and I'm going to act like it, because that's the story I choose to be. Ashe.
My goodness. Thank you, Dr. Bridgeford. All right, we're going to have a few minutes to take a break. If you guys need to take a break before we go into our next session, it starts at 2 o'clock. So we'll be going in our last session at 2 o'clock. The last breakout at 2 o'clock. And please remember to fill out the QR code for each session if you haven't done so already. Thank you.